10 signs. You might not be an INTJ. As an INTJ, it can be hard to be sure if you're an INTJ or not. If you're wondering if you are, there are some signs that can give you a hint. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Once you subscribe, drop a comment saying I subscribed and I'll reply back to you. Here are 10 signs you might not be an INTJ. Do you think people are mostly good? If you are an INTJ, then your answer is probably no. As a member of introverted intuition, NI, with extroverted thinking, TE, you likely have a very cynical view of humanity's general goodness. That's because NI seeks out patterns while TE judges according to logical standards. This combination can leave you feeling pretty jaded about people in general and their true motivations for doing things. Most non-INTJs don't think that way and often take statements like people are mostly good at face value because they haven't seen enough evidence to justify it as anything but true. So what are some of these signs that might tell us that your humble observations of humanity may be correct? Do you like working with your hands or in front of a computer? If you're an INTJ, chances are you might like working with your hands. On average, 18% of people who take a Myers-Briggs test score as ENTJs. It's also no secret that many computer programmers are technically identified as such. But if you don't enjoy physical work or working from home, chances are good that you aren't an INTJ. Data suggests that only 2% of people who do a Myers-Briggs test score as an INTJ. If it is your preference to sit in front of a computer for most or all of your waking hours, odds are good that you aren't an INTJ. Do you get stressed when things don't go as planned? INTJs often see things through a lens of logic and reason, so when something doesn't go as planned, they may be more likely to feel upset. And with their independent streak, they might not seek out emotional support when they need it. If you notice that things aren't going smoothly at work or in your relationships, stop to consider whether an INTJ approach is getting in your way. Your feelings are important and valid. Don't try to rationalize them away just because they seem illogical in hindsight. Are you a master multitasker? Since you are so focused on details, you're able to do several things at once while performing each task at an exceptionally high level. Multitasking is no challenge for you. And it's common for your friends and family to marvel at how much work you can get done during a short period of time. If you want to figure out if you're an INTJ, one of the first questions that might pop into your mind is, am I a master multitasker? Do you like to work on big projects alone, or do you prefer working in groups? Teamwork is a big part of being an INTJ, and that's because many projects need input from other people to be successful. However, for an INTJ, teamwork is all about working as a team, rather than together as equals, so having your own space on a project can really work in your favor. That doesn't mean you don't value teamwork or that you don't enjoy working with others, it just means you aren't entirely comfortable sharing control. Teamwork requires negotiation, compromise. And when you feel like there isn't enough control over decisions, it makes it hard to focus on progress. Is learning new things important to you? Learning is a highly important value to INTJs. They enjoy studying new things and learning more about their environment, in part because it helps them understand why things are happening as they are. For example, by understanding how something works, they're able to analyze and problem solve more effectively, and therefore achieve greater success. It can also be empowering. Knowing more means you're better equipped to accomplish your goals and make your own way in life. Can you be wrong without feeling self-conscious? INTJs are so confident in their own thought processes that they often don't give themselves credit for being wrong, or at least partially wrong. That doesn't mean they aren't capable of admitting when a theory is flawed or an idea doesn't work. It just means they believe there is no shame in being proven wrong if it happened due to using faulty logic, rather than bad luck or not working hard enough. In fact, most INTJs report that all but their most concrete conclusions, which are usually heavily supported by years of study and application, can be subject to change with new information. Do people tend to talk around rather than address an issue directly with you? One thing that separates the INTJ from other personality types is a propensity for observing rather than participating. In many ways, we prefer to keep our noses to ourselves and do just that, observe. It's not uncommon for people who are less comfortable in social situations to talk around an issue or problem as opposed to addressing it directly. If you're more interested in what goes on behind the scenes, you might find yourself observing and analyzing an interpersonal situation without necessarily becoming involved. Do you believe that the majority of problems can be solved by rational thinking? If you're an INTJ, then you might be accustomed to questioning your own actions and understanding that they stem from a certain amount of personal motivation. If your actions are spurred by something other than logic, like your emotions or people's opinions, it's possible that you don't actually fit into one of these personality types. Instead, you might find yourself in another type altogether. Some common alternatives to being an INTJ include INFJ, introverted intuitive feeling judging, INTP, introverted thinking perceiving, and ENFJ, extroverted feeling judging. When something goes wrong, does it make sense to fix it yourself or ask for help? There are a lot of things that might go wrong in life, but an INTJ is someone who prefers to fix their own problems. We want to make sense of our world in order to know how we can move forward and make sure things go smoothly. Fixing something ourselves takes time and effort, but it also makes us feel satisfied when we figure out what went wrong and prevent it from happening again. When we don't understand why something happened or feels off, fixing it ourselves helps us figure out what needs to be fixed so that we can proceed with confidence. So don't be surprised if you ask your INTJ for help, and then she tries to fix it herself. Thanks for watching. More videos to come.